Hello, and thank you for joining us for our podcast today, A Moment with NCDHH. The holiday season is quickly coming up on us. For some people, holidays are all about how many sports events they can cram in and watch in a day. Other people have days filled with card or board games. For some of us, it's all about the food. I wanted to find out what some of our advocacy specialists' favorite family traditions are. And I'm going to start with our newest advocacy specialist, Abby. She's joined us in the Lincoln office. So welcome, Abby, and talk to us a little bit about your favorite holiday tradition.
Hi, everybody. I think my favorite holiday tradition, it applies to basically all of the ones where you would have people get together. But my family always invited in other folks who didn't have immediate family in town. So we would call them orphan holidays. But it was always so much fun. And it really expanded my view on what family meant and what it could be. Because there's the family that you're born into, and then there's the family that you choose. And I think that was always my favorite part, was having a different group of people every year. We still had some usual suspects, but every once in a while we'd have new people, and even people from outside of the country, since I went to a church that had a lot of international folks, whether they're immigrants or refugees. And it was really fun explaining American holidays or just letting them experience it on their own. So I think that's my favorite tradition, and it applied to all of the holidays. So.
Wow, that's an awesome thing to do, to invite people, that you don't have any idea who they are, and, share your holiday with them. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. All right, second, let's go to Susan in Scotts Bluff, and you can talk to us about what is your favorite holiday tradition.
Well, I think one of them is something that my family did when I was a child, and maybe even before that. And I am passing it on to my children, but we take some time, maybe Christmas Eve night or a few days before, and we all pile in vehicles and drive around town and look at the lights and play Christmas music while we do it, which is a lot of fun. The kids really enjoy that. We've got some favorite Christmas cookies that we do year after year after year. And we open our Christmas presents actually on Christmas Eve, which is sometimes a little bit different, but works well now with the kids being married. They can come to my house for Christmas Eve and open their presents, and then go to their in-laws for Christmas Day and do the same. So we've got some old traditions, and then we're starting some new traditions.
Very nice. Yeah, some of those old traditions are often handed down to your kids, and those make the best memories for them. So we're going to move across the state over to Lincoln, and we'll go with Kim. Tell us about what you and your family do for holidays.
Sure. Well, our family traditions, most of the time, is Christmas time is when those happen. My two daughters actually started making crafts. Prior to that, sometimes we would have Christmas in a timeshare in Branson, Missouri. And where that timeshare is, typically, they would give out everyday crafts. So we would make Christmas things. So we decided to carry that on and keep doing that. So now the grandkids, as they're getting older, they're starting to be involved with making crafts for Christmas. It can be making a log house or some kind of cookie decorations, or just finding some corks from wine bottles. My mother used to drink a lot of wine, and she kept all the cork from the wine bottles, so we could make all kinds of stuff from those, just to make something to save and keep as a keepsake for a Christmas decoration. Those homemade Christmas decorations are so much nicer than buying something from the store. You know, they've got a special message embedded in them, and so that's what we love to do.
Nice. As you know, I'm a big crafter, so that really resonates with me. And I too, I love having those homemade memories. So fabulous. I love that. Okay, let's go to Carney. We're going to talk to Aaron about what he and his family does for holidays.
As of recently, we've picked up a tradition of getting a puzzle for our Christmas time together. We wanted to get something around 500 pieces because 1,000 pieces is far too much for anybody to complete, takes up way too much table space, and is otherwise rather difficult. Therefore, we've gotten 500-piece puzzles the past 5 or 6 years that we complete during the Christmas holiday. Not so much on one moment, we work on it bit by bit by bit as the holiday goes on.
That's really neat. Something that everybody can get around the table and do together. I like that. That's a neat tradition. All right, so Ashley, we're going to go to Omaha and talk to you about what you did or do with your traditions.
Typically, this started a few years ago, and during Thanksgiving dinner with the family, with grandma and grandpa and uncles. Typically, we start the Secret Santa. So we draw the name from there, and then we have about a month to buy a Christmas gift. Usually it's a $20, $30 limit, depending. And I don't know why, but that's what they set. And then at Christmas, on Christmas Day, we get back together. Usually about brunch time, we'll get together. Once we're done eating, then we open our Secret Santa gifts. And whoever we chose to be giving that gift to. So it's very enjoyable. Sometimes you get some random gift from your Secret Santa, and every year is always enjoyable.
Neat. Secret Santas are always so much fun because you just never know who's going to get you and what they're going to come up with that they think you're going to like. So awesome tradition there. For me, I don't have a lot of real traditions that go on now because it's just my husband and I left in the house. And so I'm looking back to what I did as a child that I then passed on to my daughter. As a child, church was a huge, important thing in our lives. And so we always went to Christmas Eve service. And then when we would get home from Christmas Eve service, because we didn't have midnight mass, it was earlier in the evening, but we would come home, we would usually have some kind of Christmas Eve dinner, and then we all got to pick one present from under the tree that we wanted to open on Christmas Eve. And then everything else we had to wait until Christmas morning to open. And it wasn't a big free-for-all. It was very orderly, where we would start with my dad, who would open one present, and then my mom would open one present, and we would go around the family one at a time. And it took us a long time then because there's 4 siblings plus me, my parents. So we would have lots of presents because we would all get each other something. And it was just really neat because you could watch each person open each other's gifts instead of that giant free-for-all where nobody knows what anybody's getting from anybody. And it was just really a neat way to open presents. And so that's something that I passed on. In our family, it was just me, my husband, and my one daughter. So it didn't take us near as long to open the presents, but it was still something that we passed on. So anyway, I loved hearing about all of your traditions. Thank you for sharing those with us. And I want to say thank you to Sharon for being our fabulous interpreter, as always. You always do an amazing job. Thank you. I I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning into our podcast. We will have a new episode in a couple of weeks. Please be sure to check it out on Facebook or YouTube. And if there is anything else that you'd like to hear us talk about, please leave comments in the comments section on the podcast. Everybody have a fun and safe Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.